Good morning, everybody. Laura Armstrong here, Leadership with Laura. Before we get started today, I want to let you know about my free club on Clubhouse called Leadership Warriors. So find me, follow me, I'll follow you back, and join our room or follow our room. We are going to have 5 conversations next week in our Leadership Warriors room about leadership, important things, your processes, how to make money in your leadership, what might be going wrong and how to fix that. So make sure you join us, follow the room, find me, follow me, I'll follow you. And it's just a great platform in addition to the Diamond Factor show where we can connect. I can help you. I'd love to hear more about you and what you do. All right, so having said that, let's move into today's conversation. So, sorry, my mouth is really dry this morning. So last week we talked about personality types, and I really feel like communication is a huge part of leadership, and not just leadership, but every part of your life. It filters into everything, how you communicate with people, right? It's also how people perceive you, right? So you want to make sure that you want to be perceived the right way, because that's what resonates with you, not because you care what other people think. Right? So each person has their own individual set of values that are important to them. This doesn't mean those values can change, because I know when I was much younger, my values are very different than they are now, right? Just through experience, through understanding, through, shared insights, through epiphanies, through, all sorts of things that happen to you as you learn, grow, and get older. And last week we talked about one of the personality types. Now, the coding methodology that I do is called BANK, B-A-N-K, okay? And like other personality assessments, it's usually got the 4 colors and the 4 temperaments, which is actually based historically, it goes all the way back to Hippocrates, who is the father of medicine. And he realized that he had to divide human beings into 4 different groups. Okay, because they had very different characteristics. So because of this, he had to treat them very differently in each group. So he would have a very different set of remedies for one group than he would for another, right? And so this is where we get the theory of the 4 temperaments, or the 4 personality types, from the base and root of that. And so the one I use is BANK, as I said, and why it's unique and not just a personality assessment is because it's reverse engineered to teach you how to speak to the values that are important to people. I don't think any of the other ones does this. They just don't have that component that takes it to the next step. If they do, great. I think there's value in all personality assessments. So I think they're all great, and I think they all have value and should be used, right? But why I love BANK is because it takes it to that next step where it actually can change how you do business, how you connect with people, and how you build relationships, okay? And also how to monetize your business so you're making more money and making the impact you're looking for, all right? So what I want to talk about today is the second personality type. Last week, we talked about the blueprint. Someone who's very structured, organized, needs processes around everything they do, minimize risk, all that kind of stuff. Well, this week, sorry, it's been a heck of a morning. This week, we're going to do the action personality type, okay? Now, they're literally the opposite of the blueprint, right? So let's start. So the A type, or action personality type, is the colors that we associate is with the red, right? So these are your movers, your shakers, your millionaire makers. They act like they drank Red Bull for breakfast, and they're ready to walk the red carpet. Okay, they're like little firecrackers that explode in your hand. Actually, personality types only know how to operate at one speed, full speed, and I know because my first code is action. Right? This totally fits with who I am. And I just really feel like I don't think I could be any other way. I mean, you have all 4 of the codes in your personality type, but some show up more than others, right? So basically put the pedal to the metal and get that RPM, go for the red line as fast as you can. That's the way A's like to live their lives, and it's so funny because I'm working with my brand strategist right now on, bringing our business to the next level. And, he said to me, he's like, I give you something to do and you do it like literally within hours. And he goes, and now I'm behind because he didn't expect me to do it right away. I'm like, no. I said, I have no fear of working hard. You just pile it on. Whatever you need, I'll get it done, right? Because I can see the end in sight. I can see where it's going. So, like, I'm not one of those. I do procrastinate about things, and the only things I really procrastinate about are because they're not stimulating enough for me. So I have to try to make things interesting to get them done. But even if it's stuff that needs to be recorded or things that aren't my favorite thing to do, I will push through and get him what he needs. He goes, you make me work a lot harder than I'm used to working. And I'm taking that as a compliment, right? Because I'm like, yes, we're going to get things done. So it's just kind of like, if you're not used to working with that personality type, that's exactly how they think. They're like, all right, you give me this to do, let's get it done, let's get going, right? So the action personality type likes to think they're a celebrity, and they are, at least in their own mind. They want the VIP, the red carpet treatment. They seem to be larger than life. You can see and hear them coming. A lot of the time, if I go out to a group or into a networking group or something, they're the loudest ones in the room who've got a group of people around them, right? So they have this magnetism and this ability to pull people towards them. Those are your actions, okay? Some people are excited and energized by simply being around them, and others are totally turned off by their energy and their personality. Sometimes I have to tone it down when I'm talking to people. Like when I'm talking to someone who's a blueprint personality type, I keep my voice lower. It's more even toned. I don't get excited. We have a conversation in their language. We talk about processes. Inside, I'm dying slowly because it's not my natural code, right? But I know that's what they need to hear. So if you really want to get proficient at this and see the change in your business, your leadership, and your life, you have to get out of your own head and into theirs. And this is what's going to give you the game changer that you're looking for. Okay, back to the action. So if you ask the A's about the box, remember we talked about the box analogy last week? So the blueprints were completely inside the box, right? The actions are the opposite. They're completely outside the box. They're like, what box, right? There's no box, right? So, it's just the way they think, and you have to understand that, right? So you can sell to a lot of action personality types. This is probably going to be your highest ticket code to sell to. And if you know how to speak their code, you're golden, right? So let's look at a few of the values. Okay, so first is freedom. Absolutely. A's thrive on freedom from anything that looks like a rule, policy, or restriction. Never tell them what they have to do. Perfect example the last couple years. It's been hard for the actions because they can't get out there and do the things they want to do. Stay home. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's been a nightmare, right? So we've really kind of had to curb things to keep ourselves safe, which we know is the priority, but it's been really tough, right? Flexibility. Flexibility means plenty of choices. I need A, B, and C. And then if you got a D, I'll take a look at that too. Okay. When you're putting together an offer, give them 2 or 3 options and allow them to choose. It empowers them and makes them feel like, yes, this is what I want. I don't want this. I want that. Right. And then spontaneity. So nothing is more exciting for an A to do things that are completely unpredictable, uncalculated, and unplanned. And I can tell you, I have dragged my husband into so many things. He's a blueprint, which is the opposite of this. And he's not big on unplanned things, but he knows how I am. Like I'll drag him into stuff. And in the end, he has a great time, but it's like, I can see him pushing against it. Like him like, oh, what's she going to suggest now? Right. So, the A's are the ones you throw the surprise parties for. Don't do it for the B's. Right. So unplanned things are just, as far as I'm concerned, an opportunity to see what'll happen. Right. And not have any preconceived notions or expectations about it. I love that, right? But most people are like, oh my God, how can you do that, right? So basically, the analogy I give is that the action personality type will literally jump off the cliff to see what will happen. The blueprint will be like, are you kidding me? You're crazy. Because I'm going to measure the tides, how far the water is from the cliff, how long it takes me to get to the top, and if there's even going to be water there as the waves coming in. He goes, I need all that before I can make a decision, right? So you can see how they're very different personality types, and we've only gotten into like 3 of the values. And as we go through the other 2, they're all unique on their own. Like none of them are alike, but yet you are a little bit of each one, some of more, less of others, right? Number 4, of course, is action. Massive action separates the A's from other personality types. They are movers, shakers, and millionaire makers for a reason, right? If you can get up to speed with them, literally with an A, you can close more sales. So if you can talk their speed, and I think I gave you the story last week of my blueprint insurance guy, right? Like, and I was like, if you didn't hear that story, go back and look at the recording. It's great. And literally I'm like, okay, I'm done. I got all the info I needed. So let's move forward. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, but we haven't looked. I'm like, I don't care about that. And I didn't mean it in a mean way. I was just like, I got other things to do. You gave me all the info I need. So even though you feel that you need to give more info, the action will tell you what they do and don't care about and what they do and don't need. Listen to that. It's going to save you so much time, and you're going to be able to close them so much quicker, right? And they're going to go and tell every other action what you just did for them. So you're going to have 50 action personality types showing up buying your stuff, right? That's where you want to be. That's how you're going to increase your sales. Not everybody needs the same things that you do in your main personality type. And that's where I think we have a lot of conflict within ourselves and understanding about how we can communicate better. Okay. The next one is opportunity for the action. Oh, A's love opportunity. If someone comes to me, I rarely shut them down. I'm like, yeah, I'll take a look at that. It may not be for me, but I could probably refer them to somebody because that's important to me. Nurturing is my second code. We're going to talk about that next week. A's love opportunity. And if you tell them you have an opportunity, they will come running. They will focus on using the word opportunity with your A's, and you will immediately pique their interest. This is a great opportunity. You don't want to miss out on this. It's a limited time. Okay. And to sweeten the deal, we've got this, and and we've got our VIP package, which I'll throw in with an extra this. They're like, oh my God, they're running to the back of the room to sign up. Right. So make sure that you're, saying all those words that are triggering them to get to the yes, because that's what they want to hear. You're not manipulating them. You're just speaking their language so you can communicate better with them. Okay. Next is excitement. So you could substitute another A word here, adrenaline. Okay. If it's exciting, it's not boring. And, it's interesting because I was speaking to someone yesterday, and I teach bank in corporate as, an exceptional customer experience, and I help C-suite executives step into better leadership by understanding their teams. And that means looking at their teams and the bank codes of their teams. So it gives them a lot of insights about where the misalignments might be and how to fix that, how to get people motivated, how to speak to them in their language, right? So if I was in a meeting with, a whole bunch of actions whose primary code was A, I'm not going to put up that PowerPoint for a half hour. I'm going to kill them slowly if I do that. Okay, I'm going to be like, all right, these are my thoughts. I got a PowerPoint here, but these are my thoughts. This is what I think we should do to get into action. And I've got an A, B, C, D in here. What do you guys think? Right? So I'll put the PowerPoint up, but I'll be engaging them in the conversation, not just talking to them, because I'm going to lose them. They're going to start looking at their phone. They're going to glaze over. It's not going to be a good situation. So once you know their codes, you know how to read the room properly. Okay. And that is super key. Okay. So, okay. We talked about the adrenaline. If it's exciting, it's not boring. If you're bouncing up and down with your energy, speaking faster and louder, they want to be a part of what you're offering. Make it exciting. They want to be excited. That may not be your code, and you're like, oh my God, this is so gross, right? Like, it's so not me. It's such a turnoff. You know what? For you, I understand, because it's not your primary code. It's not the way you rule, right? Maybe you're more soft-spoken. Maybe you like to go and do your own thing on your own. Maybe all that excitement is just like, too much for me, right? If your primary personality isn't action, you're probably rolling your eyes or feeling a little sick to your stomach, because this is so far out of your comfort zone. Remember, this is why you are investing in listening to this over the next few weeks, right? To learn and speak the language of other personality types, right? And this is a big part of leadership, so pay attention. To learn, so you don't have to change who you are and talk that way all the time. You do have to bring the energy and excitement when you're doing business with the A's. Okay. So, the next one is attention. So an action personality type thinks it's all about me, me, me. They really do. And not always in a narcissistic way. They could be thinking, well, how can I help others? Right. But I need to help myself first. They get the concept of self-care huge. And I have to say, they're one of the codes that does, right? Because the other codes are more about serving others or needing things to be in a certain way before they'll engage with themselves. So when meeting with an action client, everything you do must focus the spotlight on them, make them the star of the show, and you'll make actually a lot more dough. Okay. Stimulation. A's require attention. A's require stimulation. I just told you about the example in the boardroom. You probably heard the term ADD, ADHD, all those OCDs, all of those, okay, from the medical or psychology word. Action personality types have been labeled as ADD children. They get bored easily. Take them to environments that are stimulating to their eyes and ears. Make it a competition. Make it something they can win. And it doesn't have to be, something gratuitous. In their mind, if it's challenging, they'll go for it, right? So if you've got someone who's got to take a bath at night, and it's between you and them, and you want them to take the bath and they won't do it, I just say, all right, first one up the stairs, I'm going to beat you to the bathroom. I'm going to be the first in the bath to get done. And with that, I get a popsicle. You can bet they'll be running up the stairs before you get that out of your mouth, right? So you have to figure out ways to deal with your action personality type, and as a young person, my mom was a blueprint. I had no idea till, I started coaching her. And it was no wonder I got in trouble all the time. I spent most of my time in the corner, right? I go out and I do crazy things, right? I get in trouble all the time. She's like, well, why are you like this, right? And you would think that there was something wrong with you. But now, so many years later, you realize you're just an action personality type, right? And she didn't know how to manage that or control it, right? Because blueprints are all about control and structure, and the fact that I would go out and do crazy things, she'd be like, oh my God, right? So next is competition. I'm a 3-time world champion martial artist. Do you think I'm an action? Yes, I am, right? They love competition. They compete to win. It's non-negotiable, okay? So I've got a good example here. So Michael Jordan's speech at his induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame contained a classic action personality type comment. In the middle of his speech on this momentous occasion, he said, there's no I in team. Had he stopped there, we would have said it was very nurturing. But he didn't. He continued. He said, but there's an I in win, right? And that's the philosophy of an action personality type. And I'm going to tell you, if you really want to motivate those actions, create competition, right? Look for ways to create the feeling of competition for your action personality customers. It could be telling them how much your company is competing with another company in the same marketplace. They'll want to do business with you to help you take that first place. It's just as gratifying for them as for you. When I was coaching the Canadian international team, I was still, even though I wasn't competing because I'd retired, I was still so jazzed to be in that competition environment and be a part of that with my students, right? And help them achieve that, right? So I was still as invested. I just wasn't getting in the ring. And to this day, watching sports or boxing or whatever it is, right? Like I still get, I'm still competitive, right? So if you put a contest in front of me where I want that prize, watch out, because I'm going for it, right? Now, actions, like I said, just love contests. So you can create contests that will incentivize your A's to behave in ways that increase your production. So you could have a contest for the one who gives the most referrals. It doesn't matter what the contest is. Okay, this is my point. Just find a way to create competition, and the action personality type will engage. They will, okay? Next is winning. A's compete to win. They are compelled to win. I can so speak to this. A's can be a bit pompous and have a little of a mightier than thou personality. Winning drives them. Find ways to create winning opportunities for your action prospects. Okay, good story here. So winning drives them. So my mindset when I was very early on in my competition phase, when I was competing, I was working corporate as a commodities trader on the trading desk. That was high action. I go for competition, and it took me 6-7 years to win a gold medal, right? To win the world championship. And for me, it was just never good enough to have second. So second place was the first loser. That was what was in my head. And then I realized that I wanted to win for myself because I wanted to compete against myself, not just others, right? So there comes a point when you're talking about winning and you're talking about all these different values in each of the codes, when emotional intelligence, which we're not going to get into today, starts to kick in, right? And that is your perceived empathy about things, okay? How you are compassionate with others, how you have more understanding of not just yourself, but the actions that what you do is how they're going to affect others, right? So everything becomes bigger than you, right? And when that happens, things actually expand and you actually become more, okay? So keep that in mind, right? We're just going to cover the last couple here and I'm going to wrap it up. So the next one is fun. Can you make the appointment fun? Absolutely. When I meet with my clients, I'm like, hey, we're going to play a little game. I want you to sort these cards and, put them in order. Look at the values on them, put them in order, what represents you the most, the least, so I can communicate better with you and save us both some time. This is a fun exercise to do. They will all do it, and then I can read everybody in the room once I know their codes. Okay. I know exactly how to speak to them. In less than 90 seconds, they've given it away to me. All right. So do what you can to make things fun. Sometimes leadership can be a very serious subject, and I think we forget about the joy in what we can embrace there. Last is image, and this is a really interesting one. So the action personality type is all about their image. They demand the best, and I can really speak to this. Sometimes it drives me nuts. I'm like that, right? Dress to impress, and when you meet them, don't outdress them, but look good, okay? Remember, A's love competition, but they have to win. So outdressing them does not create a win for them, okay? So sincerely compliment them on the way they're dressed, the designer watch, the handbag, the shoes. They bought it and wore it to be noticed, so notice it, okay? So that's a little bit about the action personality type. The kind of occupations you're going to see them in are going to be things like actors, entrepreneurs, speakers, I had a couple other really good ones here. What was my other one? Salespeople, okay? Athletes, right? Anything where there's competition or where there's visibility. That's where you're going to find them, okay? And sometimes in corporate, I get actions who are higher in the C-suite. Not often. Mostly they're a lot of the sales force because they're go-getters, right? But if you can have an action who's got good emotional intelligence up in your corporate ladder, that's going to be a definite bonus for you because they're going to get everybody moving, right? As long as they know how to speak to their codes, okay? So that's a little bit about the action personality type. My name is Laura Armstrong. You can check me out at Leadership with Laura. Don't forget, I am in Clubhouse. Join, follow, join and follow me. I also have the Leadership Warriors Room, which we're going to be doing next week every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. So don't miss out on that. It's going to be really fun. We have some great subjects. Okay. So come and join me there. You can email me at laura@leadershipwithlaura.com. Check me out on IG and connect with me there. I've got a 3-day leadership challenge, absolutely complimentary for you, that's going to talk to you about where you what it would look like if you were the world champion of your business, if you were the best in the world at what you do, recognizing some of the roadblocks getting in your way. And on the 3rd day, we're going to talk about where you are now. So now you have the path to where you could be the world champion of your business and what might be getting in the way. Talk about having clarity and awareness. All right. So make sure you contact me. I'd love to hear from you. It's been a great day. Next week, we're going to cover the nurturing personality type. And I'm really excited about that because I love nurturers. They are just the sunshine in the world. Everyone have a great week. I will talk to you soon and take care. Bye for now.
Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma is so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? I always have to check this sound. It's like, I'm just saying, I don't know what is going on with the universe, but then I do, because it's always challenges that happen, especially in technology. And I always take it in and I'd be like, okay, Barbara, whoosha moment. Your camera's not working. The sound's not right. You sound low. You're too loud. It's like, okay. I get it. I just have to, it's pumping that blood in you and getting you going every day. So first of all, again, our expert every Thursday, Queen Laura Armstrong. Lady, I just love you. Thank you for being part of the Diamond Factor Experience show. Like I keep telling people, this show, it comes on 5 days out the week, 8 o'clock to 9 Central Time, 9 to 10 Eastern. I got to get those two main, times there. And you figure everything out with the other times. I always tell people I'm not going to be doing the whole list. But I just want to say it wouldn't be possible. I know I started. I know I produced it. I get that. But it's a team effort. It is a team effort, and it takes the experts that come on during the week with my special guests that I bring on too. So I just want to thank all the time for supporting this show, supporting us, bringing in the goods. I mean, Laura, she talked about my favorite one from the bank, and that's action. Well, when she did, it was funny when she said, well, mostly action people, think about themselves. I'm like, wait a minute, I think about others, I love others. But then I remember that my second letter in bank is nurturing. So I didn't feel so bad. But she did say action people, they think about themselves first because they want to help others. And that's why we do think of ourselves. So it's kind of like you put that mask on your face, in the airplane. And then after you get yourself together, then the oxygen, then you can help other people. So I get it, Laura. I get it. I felt a little bit bad. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be like that. Like this, it's all about Barbara. No, it's not enough. If you really know me, it's not. It really isn't. But anyway, so Laura, thank you. We will see you next Thursday. Be here. Remember, join her clubhouse. It is awesome. You can't get enough of learning about communication skills and leadership skills. So I always tell people, do what you have to do to get all those skills inside of you. I don't care how old you are. People be like, well, I kind of know all that. No. Don't even say that. When you shut yourself down from education, you're shutting yourself down in life. I always tell people that you need to continuously learning. I'll be learning to the day I die. I keep telling people I'll be reading books, looking at motivational, listening to people like the queen that's come on right now, Kathryn. Oh my God. She is, I just think about her coming on the show right now. And I look back 3 years ago. This is what I'm talking about when you're learning things for people. It's been like 3.5 years ago. I met her through another organization called Women's Prosperity Network. And it seemed like as soon as we met, we clicked. And ever since then, I've been watching her. I have been stalking. I've been watching. And I've been learning. And I've been growing. And you're going to find out why I have been growing with this lady, because she is awesome. And we're celebrating something wonderful in her life today, too. This whole week, really. She's going to get more into that. But before I go into her, I have to bring on the Diamond Queens the right way. I just don't just put them on and say, here you go. No. We got to do this the right way. So we are going to introduce this lady, and then we'll be right back, and you'll get to know this awesome queen that I love so much. Here we go. Uh-oh. There she is. I was like, where's she at? Miss Kathryn.
Barbara. Hello, my dear. That was so fun to see that little slideshow you put together of me and some of my pictures. Thank you.
I wanted
Oh,
to, you know what? That's what I wanted. I want that smile. I wanted that laugh, and I just wanted you to be happy because I had to bring you in the right way, lady. We haven't done this in like, I was looking the other night. I was looking at our first interview that you did with me, and it was Zoom, and I could tell I was kind of like, you start, and you'd be like, okay. I mean, it was okay, but I was like, no. Hopefully, I have grown leaps and bounds since then. But just for you to be on the show at that time and giving me that, that just the skills to, interview, period, and then interview what you do and how you just took it on, and you're like, we're just gonna flow. And I was like, you out of all the interview, I had to say you were the best one. We just kind of just flow because we just kind of just had that synergy. And I was like, I like that. Can I get everybody like that? Well, sometimes you know how that goes.
Yep. Well, we do have synergy, and between the two of us, we can have a conversation. So
I know. And before we go into that, let me do the right thing first, so we can get into our conversation. So I didn't do this before, but this lady, okay, and she's gonna talk more about her. But I just want to say she's a creator, and I love this, creator of Manifesting Clients Academy. She is the CEO, the lady in charge, the queen, and I love manifesting. It's just this. Okay, let me just say the words she uses. This is just awesome. Teaches, coaches, energy workers, healers, other purpose solopreneurs like myself, manifesting heartfelt clients. How can you not run to this lady and get coached and get taught with listening to those words that she powers up in her? And this, this is her. But see, it's not, how some people just write something and say, well, I'm this and this and this and this. And then you'd be like, okay. And then you meet them like, okay. But every word she is saying is right here. It is coming from the heart. And that's what's taught before she even works with you. You can see that heart there. And that's why it's so important how she teaches and guides people. Now, she has helped me tremendously, like I said before. I mean, we haven't worked closely yet. It's going to happen. It's going to manifest. It's going to manifest. But she has helped me in other areas when she's, teaching and she's showing others. She gave me my new Facebook group name. You don't remember that, do you?
I do remember having that conversation.
Yes. And you told me, you said, Barbara, maybe you might think about changing because what you had before is And that's what I love about you too, Kathryn. You'll sit there and be, you won't beat around the bush. You're like, hey, we're trying to manifest some people for you. Let's figure this thing out. And you gave me my new Facebook name. And I was like, first I was like, you know how you are. You kind of like, you're so used to, but see, that's getting out that box. And you helped me get out that box. And I changed my name. And now I'm naming it everywhere. The Diamond Factor Experience. I mean, this show is called the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley. The Facebook group is called Diamond Factor Experience. Then I have Diamond Experience Expert Panel that's coming on tonight. So you see what you did? You manifested a whole brand.
Hallelujah. Just have a conversation with me and I'll tell you something. And hopeful and likely it will be helpful. So I love it.
And it has. And see, this is testimony to you. This is not me. This is to you because you're the one that talked to me. You're the one that kind of talked me through it. And I said, But I'm glad that we had that talk. And then I said, okay, I definitely got to work with her because she did this. What other things she's going to manifest? You see, I keep using manifest because I'm just loving how you say that. Mm-hmm. So Ms. Kathryn, since I am talking a little bit too much, it's all about you. It's not about me.
It is. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Thank you.
So lady, can you tell just the lovely listeners, because they, I've been talking about you, bragging about you, just a little bit how you started. I mean, I always like talking about your business, but there's always that, that little journey before you get to the excellence that you are now.
Well, currently, as Barbara was saying, I work with On Purpose heart-based solopreneurs, but I haven't always. I started as one, And prior to that, I was as a young adult somewhat confused and lost on my journey. And in my 30s, I became a dance movement therapist because I had danced all my life. I got a master's of fine arts in dance. And um, by the time I was in my early 30s, I had done enough of my own personal healing that I felt ready to go back to school to become trained as a dance movement therapist, which is equivalent to a master's degree, like social work. And so that's where I started. And when I began working in a hospital setting as a clinical dance movement therapist, it was with people who had eating disorders, and there were 2 units, an eating disorder unit and a general psychiatric unit, which was interesting work, but it wasn't exactly it. And after almost 4.5 years, I decided to start my private practice. And I had no idea how to manifest clients. So before I left the hospital setting, I got a bunch of books out of the library because this was back in 2000, and I started in 2001 and learned a lot about marketing, business plans, and began my journey, or taking the next step with the law of attraction and understanding that and how to apply that. And within about within 2 or 3 years, I had grown a private practice to around 20, 25 clients a week, which was pretty darn good for an esoteric modality. I had begun to call myself a manifestation coach. And I didn't commit to working with entrepreneurs or solopreneurs until 2017. I had a little bit of a journey there, but now I'm committed to us because this actually was my most favorite work. I kind of grew past the healing work. It just was no longer what I wanted to spend my time on. But everything that I did and everything that I learned is part of who I am. And it enables me to work with the coaches, energy workers, healers, and other on purpose solopreneurs in a way that I think is different than there are a lot of business coaches who come into business coaching from the corporate world.
Yeah.
And which is fine. It's a great path, but they don't understand the healer type people the way that I do, because that's what my background is. So I just have my niche, however you say that word. And and I love what I do.
Well, I love that you picked the solopreneurs because we need it. We really need it. I'm learning, Kathryn, through the years that when I said to myself, "Oh, I want to start, the Diamond Factor LLC now." Just last year. I mean, I completely made it an LLC last year in July. Yeah, but I've been doing it for over 3 or 4 years, and I said, "Okay, you know what? What happened?" I said, just like how you morphed into what you're doing now. I said, "Is this going to be a hobby, or is this going to be a business?" Barbara, what is it going to do? What you going to do with your time? And I'm not getting any younger either. So, so I said, what are you doing here? You know how you have to ask that question. I went back into my teenage years and said, okay, what are you doing? And I said, no, this is my business because I believe in it and I want to help people, especially women. And that's when I said, I got to do it. I got to go all the way. And I made an LLC. And then I said to myself, okay, now what do I do?
I made that step. Now what?
Step. So then, I'm thinking about the title, and we're going right into this because this is what we're celebrating today for you. Is your book? Yes? Hold it up proud. Hold it up proud. Put it there. You go. Yes.
I am very proud. I have to say, talking about manifestation, I was pretty sure this book was going to get published after I wrote the first draft. And I had to get through the first draft to go, okay, I'm likely going to publish this. Of course, I needed to know that it was going to be halfway decent. So by the time I got it to my editor, it was like, is this worth publishing? But after that, for at least the last 3 to 6 months, I've imagined in my mind regularly having this book in my hands and sharing it on calls like this. And it's so fun to do it because that's how manifestation works, is we imagine something.
Yes.
And then it becomes the closer it comes to us in our mind as possible, then the closer we are to it actually being physical. And then it's like, oh yeah, of course, it's tomorrow. And then there it is. And so here's my book, and it's available on Amazon. It came out, well, we're launching it this week. The big launch was on Monday, and I'm thrilled. Thank you, Barbara, for letting me share my book.
Oh yeah. We're going to be doing that a lot before you get off. So just to let you know that. Told you, it's not about me. It's about you. And that's what I love. That's what I love doing. I love to let the women, especially I call the all ladies diamond queens, shine. You're a diamond. Yes. Put your crown on. It's always been there. Sometimes you got to adjust it a little bit, but it's there. It's always there. And you know what? I was thinking about what you said about your book, how it's been in you. And you know it has. You know, we kind of know, but it's like we're doing some other stuff and everything. We're kind of like, okay, I got to get, I know. And then all of a sudden, boom, got to get it out. Got to get it out of me. I need to get it out there for everybody. And I love how you titled it, Keep Moving Forward. And it just, as soon as I seen it like on Amazon, and when you were sending it to us in the group, I was like, that, it's sometimes something so simple, words are so powerful.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Naming it was an experience. So it started off with a different name. I believe the first possible name was Get on Your Moving Sidewalk, which I have an event that's called Get on Your Moving Sidewalk. And if you read the book, you'll know why I call it I started to call it Get on Your Moving Sidewalk. That didn't last long. Then I decided I needed a shorter name that was really punchy. And I came up with Unstoppable. And so I shared that. I shared a lot on Facebook with my Facebook friends about the process, and a lot of people said great things. And then some people said, but there was another book series that was called Unstoppable. And so I went back to my editor / publisher. Her name is Sue Fitzmaurice, and she's a delight. Her business is Rebel Magic Books, and great to work with. Anyhow, in this exchange back and forth, she said, well, it's useful if what you call it is something you say. And I never say to my clients, don't you want to be unstoppable? Come work with me and be unstoppable. I just know that when we do the process that I share in this book and that I teach in the Get on Your Moving Sidewalk event, and what I work with my clients, is that we can become unstoppable. But I don't think my clients, and I don't even think I necessarily want to be unstoppable. There may be some entrepreneurs who do, and that vibration resonates with them. But Barbara, what I say to my clients, and I have said it over and over again, is, well, just do this thing. Keep moving forward. And I say it all the time. If you do this, you'll just keep moving forward. So what I want for you is to keep moving forward with growing the business your heart longs for. I mean, those words just come out of my mouth. And when I realized that, and I thought, my clients resonate with that. And they do want to keep moving forward. Just like when you saw the words, those words in and of themselves have meaning for most on purpose solopreneurs, because so much of the time we stop and start. Yes.
Or we might second guess, or we might rethink things, or it takes a long time to make decisions, or you're like, oh, I mean, the whole thing. And then when you, as soon as I just look at that, because I have it on my screen too, when I purchased it, and it's been helping me. I was like, it's just like all of a sudden came to light, like, okay, because the other day I was thinking, and I was like, well, Kathryn said to keep moving forward. It did. I mean, I was sitting there and I was writing down some things, and I said, and I looked up and it was on my screen. I said, I just got to keep moving forward. I mean, I said, this thing is getting into me. I said, it's true. It's just like an automatic. It wasn't like I had to sit there and, how some people say, like, okay, what's the title? What's the book? What's she saying? What are they saying? No, it's just like you said, it just flows. And it reminds you to keep doing that no matter what's going on around you.
Right. And because what's really cool about to keep moving forward. Now, there's maybe a situation where it's useful to stop, maybe a couple, but in terms of continuing, no matter what, we're going to learn from our experience. And we may do something that doesn't turn out to be the best decision or best action, but that doesn't matter. And the problem is with perfectionists and a lot of women entrepreneurs is they're so worried about it being perfect that they don't take that step. And so if you do it, no matter what, you're going to learn from your experiences, and you're going to learn good things. You're going to learn lessons. And that's what we need to do in order to become what I talk about in the book and with my teaching. We become our future on purpose selves, because she's gone through those lessons. She's learned what she's needed to learn. That part of you, that future you, it has done that, and we've got to do it. And if we hold ourselves back, or if we second guess or whatever, we stall in becoming her. And I don't want us to. I want us to keep moving forward. I love it.
Whereas it's like, that's it. But yeah, you're right, Kathryn. I love how you mentioned that, sometimes you do stop just to learn the lesson and get to, okay, I made this decision, didn't really work out right. I may do some adjusting or next time, and then that's when you say, okay, now I can keep moving forward. Because sometimes you just keep going, you don't learn anything. It's like, okay, that's a whole nother problem.
That's true.
And that happened to me too. And I thought about it. Everything that you have in your book too, because I know it's a 5-step type of approach that you do in the book. But I know a lot of that, like you just said, Kathryn, is things that you even learn through your experience.
Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Put all this knowledge and experience and the stuff that I always tell people, don't do what Barbara did, and then put it in a book.
Well, it's interesting because originally, I've had, as you said, I've had the desire to write a book for a while. In fact, I've had a few different books that I wanted to write, but I didn't commit to writing this book until my future on purpose self helped me to see that help me to know, not see, but know inside of myself. By writing this book, I would get really clear about what I'm teaching and what I'm here to teach. So while I would say at least 80%, possibly 85 to 90% of this book are lessons from being an entrepreneur, things that I've learned from other types of trainings or whatever. So they're fundamental. There are some pieces here that came to me as I was writing the book. Like, I had to write the book to understand, and in particular, the concept about getting to know your future on purpose self, and that our future on purpose self. And even though I think I even might have said this before I wrote the book, it didn't really land into this. But our future on purpose self, this is a future you who's doing what you're called to do, full out, without constraint. That she is moving in alignment with the divine, with the great one that we're all part of, is always evolving. And we can either move with it or we can resist that. And our future on purpose self has moved with it and is continuing to move with the unfoldment of this, which means we're collectively raising the vibration of all of humanity. So, I mean, yes, there's the basic, how to create a business and manifest clients. It's in this book, but there's this other level that for me is what brings it all together and had me go, this is a reason to write this book. This is a reason to get this book out into the world. There's lots of books on how do you attract clients, and there's some good stuff from my perspective as an on-purpose solopreneur that's in this book about doing that and all that. But this other layer, I think, is just like, yes, that's a reason to buy the book and be inspired by it.
Buy the book. Mm-hmm. Buy the book.
Amazon. On Amazon.
Buy the book. Keep moving forward. Buy that book. I'm like, keep moving forward. Get on the computer. Get your credit card. Type it to Amazon. Buy the book. Keep moving forward.
Yeah, there you go.
But now, Kathryn, question now, because like I said a little while ago with me, and this hopefully will help others that are listening that are, solopreneurs and even thinking about, starting your own business, or they're in the, in the middle of it, like a year in or 2 years. What would be like the first thing? And I don't want you to give everything, because I know a lot of stuff is in the book, and then they got to hire you for coach. So we don't want to do all that, but just give them.
It's okay. I love teaching. I love talking about this stuff. I think I'm happy to share as much as I can information, because what's interesting, what I've learned, and this might be useful for everybody, in terms of sharing your knowledge is only one level of what we share with our clients. The actual feedback, like what you received in that conversation that had you just decide to change your name, that feels really good, that cannot happen in me just teaching. That has to happen in interaction, which is what people pay me for. And I think that's the same for probably pretty much anybody who works with clients, is that the work happens when you're interacting with the clients mostly. So some of us are just teaching, in which case when we do these kinds of interviews, we have to do an overview, which is what you're asking anyway. So ask your question again and let me do my best to answer it.
But thank you for saying that, because you're right. You always say you can never give enough value to people, but like you said, the transition and the feedback and the growth happens when you two communicate with each other, really get those aha moments. So I totally get that, because I'm teaching a 6-week course now in social media for the biz queens, secret social media secrets for the biz queens, it's called. And I'm telling you, every week we've been meeting, I just see the light, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Now, if I would have just told them, in a conversation, I mean, they'll write down some notes. But when, like you said, when you just synergy with them and really get to not just teaching, but you see what their needs are and you see what they didn't know, you're like, oh. So yeah, so you're right. Giving enough value, that helps. But the question I had for you is that what would be like the first thing, as a solo entrepreneur, what is the first thing besides, making, the paperwork and all that of getting yourself legal and everything? But after that, to say, okay, now what do? I don't have any clients, or, this is my niche, I think, and then what do you think is the next approach? What do you advise?
So there's two possible directions to go. And again, depending on the person I'm talking to in this situation, one is to get clear about who your future on purpose self is and start to write a new story about her. The new story process is something that I teach all the time. It's also in the book, and it's a simple tool to use. You start with a prompt, an affirmation about something you want to experience, and then you paint the picture of it. And that process can help you paint the picture of the vision for your business that you're creating based on what your future on purpose self is telling you. And we need a big vision, which is what she can give us. We also need a 1-year vision, and we need a 3 to 6 month vision that's really possible and that we're working on. That includes attracting clients and generating an income. I say start making money now. So the second thing that I would do with someone, and depending on who the person is, sometimes I just say choose a group of clients. Sometimes some people are really resistant to it. So then I say, like, if they're a life coach or something, and they're just not ready to choose the specific niche and group of people they want to work with or problem they want to help people with. And but either way, if you can choose, that's best, because no matter what, just start attracting clients. And what that means is have an offer, create an offer, a way, something that you're going to do, whether it's one-on-one work with people, or like you're doing a course, or I know you've got a way that you help people promote their businesses by getting on your, be part of the Diamond Factor experience. That's an offer. And then start telling people. It's never too early to grow a network. So grow your network. You've got to do that, I think, as a solopreneur. And there's lots of opportunities. The WPN, Women's Prosperity Network community that you referred to, I'm also part of the On Purpose Woman Global community, having to put the words together, On Purpose Woman Global community, which is a great community to be part of as well. And as you grow your network, then you've got people to share your message with, share your offer with, test it out. I also will say to people who are starting new, create an offer that's sellable, or that you think might be sellable, that has a really good price point, and tell people you're just getting started. And that's why the cost is so low, and you want to test it out on 3 people, 10 people, something like that. So you start to do the work and generate some money, even if it's not what you're ultimately going to be charging, because as you get experience, your confidence is going to grow, and you're going to be able to increase what you charge. But do not wait till you have a website to start attracting clients. Start attracting clients now. Grow your website as soon as you're ready, because the first one you create anyway, if you haven't already decided on your ideal clients, you'll likely have to redo. Not always, but likely, because ultimately your website is about your ideal clients, not about you. So.
Ooh, good. See, this is what I'm talking about. Some Good information. I'm telling you. Oh, yes. I love that, Kathryn. I love how you said, don't wait. See, a lot of people, we want to have everything perfect, the website, your social media with all these people and everything. It's like, no, I can't do it just yet. Well, you need to get out there and, tell them what to do. Well, I got to have this done. I got to get this done. I got to get a script together. I got to get the sales done. It's like, just move, keep moving forward.
Just get some clients now. And I mean, seriously, and I know sometimes people feel like they don't know what they're doing yet, and that whole process helps them get clear about what they're doing. If they're going to do a course, they need to put all the pieces together. And I'm just saying that since 2001, I've been working with clients and for myself. And since 2006, that's when I started teaching other entrepreneurs to attract clients. We just have to start working with people. We learn by doing. So don't wait. Use your friends, use your colleagues, whatever, and say, I'm starting this new thing. Will you try it out?
Yeah.
And I'll give you a special deal if you try it out. And and you will get confident, and then you'll know what to write on your website. So anyway, we could preach this, it sounds like, Barbara.
But a lot of people, we say it and we hear it from you and I and others. And then when people start, they're like, oh, no. And I'm like, well, we just talked about it. We just so that's why it takes us to come back to them, like you said, you do it in the book so people can understand, okay, there's a step here. There's a special approach here. And first of all, just, get that niche, like you said, I love how you say your future self. And I think one of the biggest things I'm finding out, Kathryn, with people when they start, and even with myself, it happened to me, and I'm still kind of going through it, is finging who is your, avatar, or, I know they have all different names for it. Who are your people? Who's going to come to you? And I think that's what the biggest thing that a lot of people have that they have to continue to work on.
It's true. And years ago, someone said to me that typically our ideal clients or avatar is someone like us, but a year or two behind us. Mm-hmm. And I would say that that's often true. I mean, it could be 5 years behind us, depending on how far we've come on the journey. It's fascinating for me, Barbara, because I do sometimes attract people who are more traditional. As we talked about in the beginning, as I talked about, I'm very spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. I came on this alternative path as a dance movement therapist. I also added what's called integrative breath work as one of the modalities that I did, which is a highly spiritual modality that uses breath. So there's got movement and breath. They're totally alternative healing approaches. That's part of who I am. And I get energy, and I am totally into angels. And well, I'm not into angels, but I totally believe all these alternative things. But I've gotten into angels because I have a couple of clients who work with the angels. So people who are more alternative and spiritual and woo-woo-ish are my people. And every so often I get a more traditional person who comes in to work with me. And sometimes they last because there's some part of them that's a little, I want to say, off, in the sense of they're a little woo-woo. And and it's fascinating. But when someone comes into my circle who they're really more conservative and not that at all, I just think, either they're opening the door to this, or they're not going to last with me. Perfectly fine. And and one more thing, Barbara, is challenging for me because I go into these circles of women and I look around and I'm like, well, a lot of these people are not my people, but that's okay. That's okay. And I want to say that it's okay for me and it's okay for anyone. When you get clear about who your ideal clients are, especially if you're an on purpose entrepreneur or solopreneur, there's a click. Now, if you don't have that energetic component, but you're offering a service like, Barbara, you're talking about a social media course, right? A lot of entrepreneurs can benefit from that. I've got a Facebook course. Now, if you resonate more with Barbara and her approach, you're going to love what she teaches. if you feel more connected to me, you'll likely love what I teach. But there's probably some overlap. And it really, in some cases, and for certain things, it doesn't really matter. It's just who we're hanging out with for things like that. I don't know if I'm communicating this right.
No, 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 no. You're right. You know, you're hitting it right on, right on
Okay.
the spot. No, 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 no. Keep going.
Yeah. So what am I saying that makes sense to you?
Well, you know, the one thing I love what you said is that just because, and I'm trying to get your link so I can put it out there because I want people to make sure they can get to you. But one of the things that I love what you said, Kathryn, is that, you know, just because you might, like you said, your clients, like the healers and, you know, the spiritual, and then, you know, I love the ladies with the angels. I would love to meet her, but who you talk to, that, and then you got the traditionals. And I'm kind of falling that category with that a little because I'm coming from corporate. So, you
Right.
know, some of that, I call it baggage because sometimes corporate could be baggage. Just saying. I mean, I get skills from there, but then I have to, when I come to you, let's just say like this example. I'm coming from corporate. I started my own business. I'm in my head. I got the corporate. I got those skills that I'm taking over to my business. But then I come to you as a coach. And you know what that does? That helps me open up that box that I might have had in corporate and say, okay, Barbara, you did this and this, but have you looked at this part of it too? Have you looked at the, you know, the spiritual side and everything, which I'm a spiritual person. So you would be coming in from that lane for me and even making it better for me. Because now I have not just the side that, you know, I've been dealing with. Now I have this other that you're introducing me to, and they come together. And what does that do? That manifests my business even more to get to the clients that I probably need to get to because I needed that from you. How does
Hmm.
that sound?
That sounds really good to me.
And that's why
Yes,
I
yes.
got that title from you, and that's why this is what is going on. But if that never happened, the synergy never happened with talking to you about that and having that real conversation and listening. I'm going to say it again: listening, that active listening. Then this wouldn't it wouldn't have went a whole different way. I would still have that boring title. People wouldn't have resonated to it. I probably wouldn't have got the clients and everything I'm doing now because of a title, just because of a change, a tweak that somebody else seen that I didn't see.
Mhm.
I love you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you know what I want you to do now?
What's that?
I am going to take myself down.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm going to make sure that whatever you want to leave for the audience before we sign off, because I want them to hear your voice. Because, like I said earlier, you have that heart and soul, and I want them to see that with me down. So I'm going to take me down, give you just a few minutes to talk about that.
hmm. Thank you, Barbara. What a lovely experience. I totally enjoy connecting with you, Barbara, as well as anybody who is watching this, who's listening to this. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you want to hang out with me more on Facebook, you can find me in my Manifesting Solopreneurs Facebook group, Manifesting Solopreneurs Facebook group. And so I just want to say that if you are growing a business, whether you're just getting started or website down there. So Manifesting Clients Academy is my website. So whether you're getting started or you've been doing it for a while, go to my website at Manifesting Clients Academy. I have a free gift for you right on the home page. There's an assessment that you can download that is fantastic. It's the Are you ready for clients self-assessment? And it's a series of questions that by doing this self-assessment, you'll see what you've already got in place and some of the things, if not all the things, that would be helpful for you to work on and put into place so that when you just think, I want more clients, they will show up. And when you're ready for clients, when you're what I like to say, client ready, that's what happens. You've got all the pieces in place. If you need to have a book, you'll have a book. If you need to have a website, you'll have a website. So when you're starting, I'm going to say start working with clients. As you start working with clients, you put all the pieces in place so that all you have to do is think to yourself, it's time for me to open up to receive more clients. And that's when you're client ready. When you can just think, okay, bring in more clients that week, they'll fly to you. That means all your marketing's out there. It's happening. You've got that network. You've got your social media going. You have shown up on interviews like this, if that's part of your strategy for uh, growing your business. You're doing it. So you know that energetically, when you shift into I'm ready for clients, they'll just show up. But that's a process. Getting what I call client ready can take 2 or 3 years. It can sometimes take longer, 5 years or longer, because some of us are discovering who our ideal client or avatar is and what our services really are, especially if you're an on purpose solopreneur. Sometimes we have to try different things out. So I encourage you to keep moving forward. Go to Amazon, get my book, Keep Moving Forward, A Guide for the On Purpose Solopreneur.
Awesome. Amazing. Spectacular. You're just I told you that heart. Why wouldn't you want to work with Kathryn? I mean, I'm just saying. You know how some people are like, I gotta think about what? You know, I had to hit myself for that. I said, what am I thinking about? You gotta just do this. So yes, Kathryn, thank you for coming on the Diamond Factor Experience Show with me today. And anytime you need to, let's have another conversation, talk, have some fun on the show, please, you are always, always welcome here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah. So now, real quickly, can you just tell them, and I can just post it too in the show afterwards, of where to buy the book? Because I know you're this whole week.
Yes, so much. Yes. So go to Amazon, just type in Keep Moving Forward, A Guide for the On Purpose Solopreneur, and you'll find it on Amazon. Really easy peasy if you're willing to buy from Amazon. I discovered in this process, some people are avoiding Amazon. I did not know that. But go.
Wow.
I know, it's interesting. So I've had a few people who believe in me so much that they were willing to buy from Amazon. So I'm grateful for that. Got some great reviews up there, and check those out if you're not sure whether or not this is the right book for you. And you'll be able to get a better sense from, of course, those reviews. And I mean, it's really inexpensive. The paperback is $15.99. So for $15.99, you get pretty much all my wisdom. There's a lot of exercises in here you can use. So Amazon,
Ooh, I like
go to
that.
Amazon.
Ooh, she's gonna make you work, everybody. That's good. That's good. That's how you learn. You got to just get in the trenches and do it as you're learning. I love those kind of books. The ones, I mean, you could read the ones, but the ones that like you read a little, then it just gets some, put some action to it. Then read a little bit more. I mean, that's how you learn and how you progress. Oh, I love that concept you did on that. So everybody, please take advantage of this and buy the book. Okay. I always tell people we need to support each other. Collaboration kills competition. I know Shay Brown, another wonderful sales guru that I know, he always says collaboration crushes competition. I took the crush out and put kill.
I love that.
I really believe if we all come together like we're doing now, that we can help each other's empires grow even better and more. And then you have this greatness of group of women or men. I mean, I love the men, love you. But
I know. Yeah.
But you see how that goes, Kathryn. If we just do that together, and a lot of times people miss that. They miss that. I know that's part of your coaching too. You got to collaborate.
Well, it's not a strong piece of it because I work with solopreneurs. However, I do collaborate with people, and I've been learning over the years. It took me a long time to understand in my core the experience of collaboration. I think I've got it now, but I started off like it was all about me. So back 20 years ago when I started, and probably for the first 15, 16, 17 years, it was all about me and me figuring out what was true and right for me. And I'm glad to be in a place where I really understand energetically collaboration and supporting other people and the energy flowing back and forth. So it's a really powerful thing. So collaboration, killing competition, great perspective. Love it.
Yeah, and like I said, always make sure, I'm just going to add this to that, like you said, Catherine, always make sure it's a win-win. It doesn't have
Hmm.
to always be the money. I mean, I know we all want to make money, believe me. I have no problem making some money, but it could be a win-win in collaboration to get to, for relationship to grow, business relationship, where you never know when you need that person, or I need you in some cases, you need me. We can work with each other like the book. I'm going to push this thing because I believe and I believe in you. So that's what I'm talking about, collaboration. And then hopefully, when I do some things, out there, you'd be like, you check it out, be like, you know what, check out Barbara. She, you want to see that. So that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to always be, well, you're going to pay me, I'm going to pay you. Okay, that's going to happen. It's automatically when you do it the right way and it's in your heart, it's going to come.
Hmm.
But then there's so many other things that come with like the relationships that you build. And I think that's, to me, that's currency in my life is knowing you after all these years. And now today, and I was like, how did I leave my friend? We all got busy, but that's okay because the nice thing about it is you can come together and it's just like you never left each other. It's like, wow, look at this. And now
I love you, Barb.
all this pandemic got to go away so I can come visit and we can do, some dinner and some shots or whatever. Just hang out.
So I say to anybody who has not gotten their COVID vaccination, please get your COVID vaccination. This is a public service announcement. Please get your COVID vaccination.
I know. Oh, you just don't know. Yeah. I know I know there's some things with people feeling about that, but I'm with you on that. I'm just going to be honest. I beg of people. It's just not getting better. We got to get better. We all got to get in sync here. So, and but with that said, just keep moving forward. Get that shot. But Kathryn, I love you, lady. Like I said, you are just the heart. I just have to say, you're just a heart. And everybody, please go out, buy the book. This week. And she did it on her birthday. It was wonderful how she, that was her present to her, is her book coming out. And I'm just
August 2nd. Thank you so much. August 2nd was my 60th birthday, and I had a birthday. Yeah, I know. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Yeah. So I had a book launch party, and I brought a cupcake, and everybody sang, and it was all women who were supporting me and my book. So
I missed the cupcakes. Oh, Kathryn. I love me some cupcakes. That's a problem of mine. Wow. What? Oh
yeah.
my God. Okay. You know what? I am just, to this point, somebody got to give me some youth serum. Can you give me a youth serum? 60. No.
Youth. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's like, what? When you said it, I'm like,
yeah, well, I thought you knew how old I was. Yeah, I know. Well, so
good. I don't know.
Thank you, Barbara. But just so you know, and for everybody who's listening, I have now declared that 60 is the new 45, because 60 used to sound old, isn't? Like, I mean, that's why I look at me and I'm like, okay, 60, what? Huh?
You know what? You hit it, Kathryn. I believe that. I truly believe that because I've been meeting so many ladies now that I'm thinking they're in their 30s and 40s, and that's younger than me. And then they tell me, "Oh, Barbara, I just turned 71. Oh, I just turned 60." I'm like, huh? And then that makes me say to myself, okay, Barbara, you need to, there's no excuses. It's like none. It's like you say that, it's like you just raise the bar even higher. Like, okay, whatever I got to say.
I know. That's a whole other conversation. We've been talking a lot about that in the On Purpose Woman Global community because Jenny Robertson, who founded it, is turning 70 in October. So for her, it's a really big birthday. And she's been looking at how for the next 10 years, can she feel even better and be healthier and be more active and be more, having a great life than she's had up until now. And so we're looking at all of these women who are role models for youthing and not aging as the years go by. And it's just so interesting. It's a whole other conversation, I think. And part of I'll just come back to being an on-purpose solopreneur or entrepreneur, is that we're called to do something.
Yeah.
We're here to do it. And we've got this physical lifetime to do it. Yeah. And part of being youthful for me is feeling that sense of purpose, a reason to get out of bed. I mean, I want women entrepreneurs to get on their moving sidewalks, which means that they're tuned into their future on purpose self and they're moving forward on the path between where they are and where she is, which is their purpose path. And it feels like a moving sidewalk. I have a mission. I see hundreds of us, thousands of us on purpose solopreneurs on our moving sidewalks, side by side, like in rows behind, like going at our pace on our own moving sidewalks, but connected and moving in alignment with the unfoldment of the divine. And so I'm on a mission, and it's exciting, and
Yes.
that helps with that whole youthing thing, because without that, if it's just let me get to the end of my job in corporate and be retired,
that's so boring. That's so boring. And it's like, no, and it's not satisfying. It's like, no. So yes, oh my God. So happy birthday. Because I didn't get a chance to tell you on your day, and just a wonderful, wonderful present. Now you gave me a present today because you came on the show and we had a nice conversation and able to talk about your book and just about you and as people to see the heart and the warmth that you have, and that, like you said, that purpose that you're really striving for people to get on that sidewalk. I love it. I love it. Okay, lady, I know I've been taking more of your time, but thank you again for coming on the show. You are automatically person that could keep coming. And I mean that. Just keep coming here.
Okay.
This is your new home now.
Okay. Thank you. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Yeah, so you take care and we'll see you soon. And everybody buy the book. Buy the book.
I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound. 'Cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground.
So much fun with my lady, Kathryn Yarborough. Wow. Creator of Manifesting Client Academy, the CEO. Again, she teaches, coaches, energy workers, healers, and other purpose solopreneurs to manifest clients for heart-longing clients in your business. So please reach out to Kathryn. She is a gem. I really appreciate her, and I'm just happy for her that she has stepped out and now she has her book out there. Keep moving forward. Now it's called let me see. Let me make sure I say this right, because we just kept saying keep moving forward. So it's Keep Moving Forward, a guide for the On Purpose Solopreneur. For the On Purpose Solopreneur. So if you're on purpose, see, this goes right back to what I'm always talking about with the PPD. Purpose, passion, and drive, your PPD. If you have that purpose, if you're on purpose in what you're doing, and then you got that passion, that's that energy, and then you put the drive in there. Remember everything, like we're talking about, the lessons learned, the journeys that you took, the valleys, the low valleys that you got to the high valleys, and you remember that it all comes into pass. And then it brings you to that person that you are, and it brings those gifts and those talents that you have in you. And then after you get all that good stuff going, as I keep saying, then you're going to take that and then you're going to go out to the world and help others, even in your business or anything in personal, whatever you're trying to do. And like Kathryn said, to manifest and just help others. And that's what it's all about. That's what life should be about. It's just, we sit there, we learn our own selves, we love our own selves. And then from that point, then we love on others to help them grow and to be there for them and to be their cheerleader, whatever that's needed in their life so they can elevate. So it's all about. It's so simple, but sometimes we make it so difficult. And I'm saying that when I tell you that, I'm talking to me too. I'm talking to me too, because it happens a lot where, you get, what is it? It's called life. This is what people say, it's called life. And then you start to ease away from that PPD, and you got to ease back, because that's your foundation. That's your foundation in life. So understand, I was in a room the other day. This is funny. I was in a clubhouse room the other day, just yesterday, as a matter of fact. And one of the speakers on the platform was talking about success. And they was like, it's not so much of being successful that you have to be significant. If you're significant, then the success comes right after that. Because he said, you got to know your purpose. And I was like, oh no, I was brought in this room at the right time to hear that. Because to me, that was confirmation for me and for everybody else in the room, hopefully, that I've been talking about the purpose. But I love how he said that success doesn't come because you got to be significant in what you do. And he meant by significant in your gifts and your, genuine, the genius that you have in you. I'm trying to get that. The genius that you have in you. And when that happens, success comes right behind it, because you're successful in what you do. You're successful in who you work with. They're successful because you two are working together. Then it goes on and on and on. I was like, oh my God, I had an aha moment. It was an aha moment, because it told me that the universe is talking to me, telling me that what I'm saying, it's resonating. And I was like, oh, that just feel like you got a little check mark next to it saying, oh, I got it. So with that said, I want to just tell everybody we'll be back tomorrow. And oh my God, when you're talking about queens this week, we have Pam Perry, a celebrity, coming on tomorrow. She's a publicist, and she has dealt with magazine and stuff. Oprah. Has anybody heard Oprah? Yes. She knows her. Yes. That's all I have to say for now. She's an award-winning publicist. And oh my God, I've been going into her clubhouse rooms mostly every night. She has her own room at 9:00 Eastern time. Yeah, Eastern time. And it's good. It's all about, PR branding, making sure, she goes into all that. And she's just, you talking about another heart. She has a heart of gold. And she's coming on tomorrow. And then we have Miss Tracy Brooks giving us some information, inspired us, give us some skills for finances and some other things that's going to come out that she really is really well worded and good. And so we got two wonderful ladies coming on tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. We start at 8:00 Central Time, 9:00 Eastern Time. I always say do the other time zones on your own, but those are the two main ones that I look for. And with that, we will see you Friday morning, same time, same station. Take care. Bye.